Cashflow Diary Podcast, episode 94.
Congratulations, you showed up. Give yourself a high five in celebration of your success. Welcome to the Cashflow Diary, where new and experienced investors come to take confident action towards their goals. Your host is a family man, a real estate entrepreneur, investor, coach, and instructor. As a master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's Cashflow 101 game, he's inspired many to begin their journey into creating cash flow for themselves and their family. And now, here he is to offer you the tools required to earn the income desired. Your cash flow coach, Jay Massey.
All right, and welcome to another episode of the Cashflow Diary Podcast. I am your host, Jay Massey, but you probably already knew that, and you also know that you're listening on a mobile device, and we've got an mobile phone expert, if you will. Today, you're like, why on earth are we talking about phones? Because anything can create cash flow once you understand how to find a problem, and from problems is what cash flow is created. And that's what we're going to talk about today. For those of you here for the first time, here's what you want to do. You want to go over to learninvestingnow.com. That's learninvestingnow.com. Because when you go over there, what I'm going to do is share with you how to learn investing and now. And most importantly, many skill sets are required to become that competent investor, and we're going to do our best to share many of those with you as much as we possibly can, cram it into your brain, and help you begin your journey. Today's guest, though, has a very unique, interesting story, and I think you're going to enjoy it. And most importantly, I want you to hear just things like perseverance, things like consistency, things like whatever it takes, we're going to figure it out and make it happen. And at the end of the day, that's what most entrepreneurs do. They figure it out and make it happen. One of the things that I personally love about this, the guest today, is just how persistent, consistent, and most importantly, she refuses to quit. And I love people who refuse to quit, because that is the essence of what it takes to make anything happen. What I want you to do, though, is that I want you to hear how it all started, where it became from, and understand that your journey is the same. You're going to have so many different things to go through, but it doesn't matter. You can make it happen. So do me a favor and welcome Miss Nathalie Mortine. Nathalie?
I'm here. Thank you for that awesome introduction.
Yep, I do my best. So you and I have known each other for a little while. However, yes. I still have to ask the question, because I want to know, and the people want to know. Before you were, on TV and doing all kinds of fun, great things, let me ask you this. You know that I believe in a lot of senses that today's entrepreneurs are like yesterday's superheroes, and they all have secret identities. And you especially being a new mom, you probably got the new title of Wonder Woman going around. So before you, were who you are today, who were you at the beginning?
Oh, my goodness. Do we have to go there?
Yeah, well, we got to know, because sometimes people look at an entrepreneur and they go, oh, it's always been easy. It's always been natural. You're a natural X, Y, and Z. I think it's important that we find out where everybody starts from.
Sure. So in the beginning, I'm the youngest of 6. So I was always fighting for attention because everyone else was so much louder than I was. And then at some point, I decided that people don't listen to me, because every time I would try to speak at my turn at the dinner table, someone else would speak over me. And so I just got in the habit of letting other people speak over me, and I became really shy. And that's pretty much how I lived my entire, at least school life, and then even a little bit after college. So my experience with interacting with people was very, very limited. I definitely sheltered myself. So that's how I was prior to becoming an entrepreneur.
Well, and that's funny knowing you today. So let's talk about that. What inspires the transformation? I mean, for all of us, it's something different. What inspires the transformation for you?
Well, so my issue was always self-esteem. And at some point, I decided, why am I like this? And I kept asking myself that question, and this was about college, around college time. And finally, I decided there is no answer, and there is no reason that I am this way, like that I can't even approach somebody and say what I want or need.
Wow.
And so it was years. It took me years to get out of that bad habit of, thinking that I wasn't good enough to even say what I wanted or what I wanted to do. And, it was just a matter of getting involved in activities and really just forcing myself, especially I've always been in sales positions. And it was just years of just talking to people, trying to figure out what I liked to do, what I wanted to do. And, it's just kind of like a process of elimination. And then finally I decided I need to be a business owner.
Nice. Now, I guess my question, something you said that I think most people don't think go together is how can you be shy, as you were saying it, but yet in mostly sales positions? How does that work?
It doesn't work very well. To be honest with you.
Sounds like there's a story there. Yes.
I did just get really good at making requests of people and then just doing it a lot. So at some point I had to force myself to get on the phone and make those calls that I needed to make sales or, meeting one-on-one and getting to know people. I can't say that I was great at it at any point in time, but, I just did it anyway. And eventually I got more comfortable with it.
You're right. It's like it wasn't serving you to not be that way, or to be shy. So you had to figure out, hey, I like eating. And I know you enjoy
right.
eating too.
I do. I love eating.
So it's like, what are you going to do? You're in that situation. So tell us, if you will, how on earth do you end up with cell phones and doing that as a business and tell us, you probably should describe a little bit more about what it is that you guys do today and how that path, how do you end up there? Because most people, I didn't wake up one night and say, hey, I can't wait to do real estate. That didn't happen. It was kind of a series of things that led to the ultimate outcome.
Right. Okay. So what I do is with my husband, we own a business called Elite Phone Buyers. And what we do is we buy new, used, and broken smartphones, iPads, and MacBooks. We will buy them from individuals, and we'll also buy them from companies, more than one at a time. And where that idea came from is actually my husband's brother was doing the same thing in Phoenix. And we knew that he was doing really well with it. And I wanted to start a business. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And what's crazy is I always knew that I wanted to marry someone that was also an entrepreneur, and I knew that I wanted to start a business with him. Little did I know it was going to be the man I married, but, it worked itself out. So just having the inkling of I want to start a business, I want it to be with my husband, even though to some people that sounds really crazy. And then having a background in sales helps, in marketing, because you have to market yourself. That's huge. No one's going to know what you do if you don't tell anybody.
Right.
So from there, it just took off. We took a risk and we started telling people what we did, and immediately it started to work, and here we are.
So if I understand you correctly, you take other people's trash, make it your treasure, and develop cash flow. That's what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it because that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, how many of us are out there right now? You're probably listening to us right now on your iPhone, iPad, or something. And you're like, yeah, I do have like 4 phones on my desk and I haven't done anything with them. And the point I'm trying to make is when your cash flow lies in some of the most obvious places. You're just not thinking of it, or sometimes we're thinking too hard, especially as in the United States. We feel like we have to work so hard to come up with that super great business idea, but yet something as simple as, how about we just buy your used phone, becomes a business. I find that awesome.
Exactly. And I thought really hard. Trust me. I came up with so many ideas, and my husband was just like, well, how are you going to make money doing that? And I would just say, well, I don't know. So,
let's not talk about the money thing.
Process of elimination. Right.
Let's just do something. It doesn't matter. So what are some of the other things that you thought of? Please share. What are some of those other great ideas?
Oh, the one that stands out in my mind as probably the worst possible idea is being an organizer for small business owners, which itself is a great idea, but for someone like me and my husband, it's not the best idea because we are not the most organized people in the world.
Okay, keep going. This is good.
Probably something involving animals. I think I had thought of walking dogs. I don't even know what you call that business, but there was that, daycare, things like that, things where you have to work really hard if you're running it yourself, but also things that we weren't really inspired by. Just, I was really looking at the numbers versus what would be something that we could really enjoy doing.
Awesome. I love what you just said there. See, you were focused on the numbers, but yet so how does, please tell me, how does cell phones inspire you exactly if you're not looking at the numbers? Because many of us make this, we have that issue. We go, hey, I at least hear how it presents itself in my world. Jay, what strategy in real estate's the best? Which is code for which one's going to make me the most money right now in the next 15 seconds, as opposed to thinking about, hey, which strategy, which one aligns with my values the most, which one is most fit for me and who we are, which is what I'm hearing the process of elimination went through. So I'm curious to know how does what you're doing today fit into that box?
Right. Well, the biggest thing is that it gets my husband excited. So with the fact that he's excited about the business that we're in is huge, because there's so many different things that we've done, especially with real estate investing, again, where we focus, or I should say I was focusing on the numbers, but we just weren't inspired by that. And so, this business really inspires my husband because we get to interact with people that they need the cash and they want it now. They want, the best price that they can get. And for me, what I love about this business is that I get to go out and do the sales and marketing. So I get to acquire new customers by joining networking groups and interacting with some really cool people, or being interviewed on Channel 5 News, which is a local news station here. So things like that is what inspires me about this business. So technically, we could be doing anything, and I could be, doing the same thing and be successful with it. But I'm just happy because my husband's happy, and we get to do this together. Even with my son, he comes, we watch him here in the shop for the most part.
Kids are some of the best negotiators. Yeah, I bet you he could get you a good deal. So yes. with that, the whole, I love a lot of what you're saying is so true. The skill sets that we have are transferable, and oftentimes what we are currently doing isn't what we should be doing, and then we feel like, oh, I've got to quote unquote start over. How did you deal with that?
Well, I didn't focus on that. So, I just realized, you have to start with where you're at. And there really is no starting over, I feel like, because I feel like all of your previous experiences lead you to where you are today. And so even if you're struggling, trying to figure out what to do, out of all that struggle, like this was the easiest decision we ever made, and we just started doing it. So at some point things start to flow. But I just don't feel like there's such a thing as starting over.
Hey, I'm with you on that one. It all adds up, so to speak. It all adds up. So when you say you get the opportunity to do the marketing and sales, what about what are the super secret techniques that could help us all be excellent marketers and salespeople of our own small business?
Well, I think first off, you need to find something that people need and that people want. So I would say that would be number one.
I need my cell phone. That is for sure. There is exactly. No doubt about that. I don't know when that became a necessity, but it's right up there with breathing. That's for sure. So right. It's really high.
Exactly. So that's something you want to start with. And then really from there, it's just a natural conversation. I mean, just go out there and start talking to people, and other people will give you ideas on what you need to be doing. But really take advantage of social media, your friends and family. Tell them what you're up to, and if they want to support you, they will. And if they don't, well, they'll come around eventually. But just find people that want to help you succeed, and then things will just grow naturally from there.
So here's a question then. If you had an opportunity to talk to the Nathalie of a few years ago and tell her what you just said, wouldn't she say, but I'm shy, I can't talk to people?
No, I wasn't that shy 2 years ago, but
okay, maybe go a few more years then.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of hard for me to think that way. We just erase all of my previous experiences and answer from how I was 10 years ago. Yeah, I don't know how to really respond to that.
Well, and that's I guess that's kind of what I'm saying, is that you're not that person anymore. The point is what we often imagine we can achieve. It's not that it's not achievable. It's that we must become a completely different person. In your case, by your own admission, you have trouble even thinking that way anymore. It's like, I don't even know how to relate to that person at this moment without all those experiences in the middle. And so where on earth does one develop the courage to go through those experiences? Because I'm guessing all of your experiences were 100% positive, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. And I live on Pluto, so
right, exactly. So how do you develop the mindset necessary to go through those experiences? Because not every offer is accepted, not every person says yes. What's been the secret to persevere for you?
I don't know why that's such a hard question. I don't know. I don't know what the secret is today.
That's fine.
I just know that, if I had to answer, I would say it really is just experiences. So, getting out of my head, because, I could sit here and think about what I need to be doing or what I want to be doing. But until I start taking those first steps, whatever they may be, like, picking up the phone or posting an ad online or telling someone about what you do, until I do that, it doesn't make a difference. You're not going to change. You're just going to be stuck in your head. So I think the practice is going out and taking those actions and being willing to fail. To me, that's what courage is, you're not going to have a surefire success with all your ideas. Just have the idea, take an action. If that didn't work, oops, do it again with somebody else.
Yeah, I all about that experimentation, but that's the very process that prevents many people from even starting, is because we don't want to go out there naturally. I know naturally you don't want to go out there and feel the experience of failure. You want to try and get it right from the first time,
Right.
But I guess what I'm hearing you say is that doesn't work. That's not how it happens in real life.
Right. And trust me, like, I'm not as shy as I used to be, but there's some people that I want to talk to that it terrifies me when I'm thinking about it. But when I actually talk to those people, they are so compassionate, and I mean that's why we want to. You want to surround yourself with successful people because they are so compassionate, and there's a reason why they are where they are. It's because they are so great with people. So when you actually speak with these successful people, it really isn't a big deal. It's like just talking to a friend.
Yes. It hopefully will be like talking
For
to
the
a
most
friend.
part. For the most part, yeah.
You might find out, that wasn't good at all. So
right.
that's interesting. So has there been, I'm just interested to know, with the addition of your new son, does this somehow add a new dimension to reasons why you must be in business? Does the business look different to you today? All right. One of the interesting things about business, about yourself, is understand this. As you grow and change, business will grow and change. Everything that you do, you'll start to do it for many different reasons. And nonetheless, as you have more and more experiences, be they life experiences or experiences in business, you will grow and change and things look different. So stay tuned for her answer, because I definitely will get you to it. A couple of things that I want to update you on. One, as of probably by the time you're listening to this, I'll be on a plane on the way to Lithuania. So for those of you in Estonia, I'll be nearby, but not quite there. And I'm saying this because one of the next episodes will likely be recorded from Lithuania. And that'll be interesting because I get an opportunity to go hang out with Simon Black at his entrepreneurial camp. And if you don't know what that's about, just go over to sovereignacademy.org, sovereignacademy.org. Simon Black was a guest previously. Feel free to look that episode up and listen to it. And for you that are waiting on the audiobook, we are getting close. We actually have a countdown. When I return back to the United States, I'll be giving you the countdown so that you'll know how many days left before we actually can release. It is going to be exciting. If you're still not on the list for the audiobook, you can get on 949-682-3565. You send a text message with the keyword audio to 949-682-3565. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, recently released the book, Cashflow Diary, 10 Steps to Creating Wealth in Any Economy. Obviously, it's currently available Amazon and all those other fine places, but buy it from our website at cashflowdiary.com/book if you actually want the book. You can get the PDF as well as the physical copy there. And the one more thing I want to say, had a great time. I know some of you who are listening to me right now, you are a participant in one of our live events that we just did over the weekend. And in fact, don't listen to me say it. Here it is, straight from one of the participants' mouths.
Hi, my name is Brian Dunnigan, and I was a participant in Jay's educational event, How to Double Your Leads and Triple Your Sales in a Quarter of the Time while Eliminating Your Marketing Budget. It's a long title, but it was packed full of information. It was a fantastic event. It was 5 hours of condensed information that Jay did a wonderful job. It was great because essentially he distilled down many sales techniques that he's had overwhelming success with, and shared it with a few of us. So I learned a lot today. Almost looked at it like a roadmap to having fruitful and productive conversations with potential investors. And really it's designed to ensure no time is wasted, either potential investors or our own. So I thought it was very, very well done, and really leads to actionable items. And it's essentially it's a roadmap to follow for success and to build upon past success. And so I highly recommend. 2 thumbs up. Thanks very much, Jay. Appreciate it. Bye.
Yes, Ryan, you are absolutely right. That was a long title. Let me see. It was how to double your leads, triple your sales in a quarter of the time while eliminating your marketing budget. Yep, that qualifies as long. Anyway, let's get back over to our guest.
Oh, absolutely. I never thought I would be able to run a business with a 3.5-month-old in my arms for, most of the week. And, I really found that community makes a huge difference because we have, people that work here for us that are a huge help that, I don't know how I would do this without them. And then I also have my parents who, watch him a day or two out of the week. And I never thought I would have my son sitting in my lap during a meeting where I'm either trying to sell the person something or they're selling something to us. And just having him sit there and listen and make them laugh and get all googly while they're trying to be, serious and sell me something. When they're, my son smiles at them, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, you are so cute. You're so adorable. And by the way, I think you should buy this gadget, blah, blah, blah." So
I told you kids can close. See, kids are closer.
Oh, my gosh. I had no idea.
Now, all you got to do is get a puppy and add a puppy and a kid, and you're golden,
Oh, my gosh. You can take over the world.
That's all it takes. It's put a kid and a puppy in your marketing. You're done. It's over after that. So that excellent. So what would you say in this journey of learning to develop cash flow, learning to make these things happen? What's been like the greatest skill set that you've had to obtain to make things work?
I'd really say perseverance. I don't know. I feel like that is the most important skill that anyone can have. But second to that is also knowing when to quit. And what I mean by that is sometimes you're headed on a path that it's the wrong path, and you have to turn back around and take a different path. So being willing to look at where you are and realize, oh, maybe I made a mistake. I need to do something else. And just being okay with, well, there goes 2 years of whatever you were working on. But when you come to that realization, just move on. Try something else. It's really not a big deal because everything you did prior to that got you to where you are now and is going to give you that much more success in whatever you choose to do.
Agreed. That's the only thing I can say. That's the only thing I can say is yes. That's exactly yes. In so many ways, because learning, I think that's probably one of the most difficult things. It's a strategic pivot is what I'll call it. It's like, enough of this direction. We need to go this direction. That doesn't mean what we did was completely for nothing. Now we know one way to really not do something. And yet knowing when that is, as opposed to when to persevere and push through, those two things makes a huge difference. What's some of the things that you've had to experience persevering through that that you would consider one of those challenges that tend to make or break most entrepreneurs?
Oh gosh,
pick one.
Probably the worst
Anyone.
possible thing you can think of. Yeah. So the one that stands out in my mind is when we first got into this business, we were operating it out of our home. And my husband, I do point the finger on this one because I was really opposed to it, on a couple occasions would meet people in their home or at their home or like in their neighborhood or whatever. And this one gentleman that he had done quite a bit of business with said that his car broke down and that he was at his apartment and wanted my husband to come to his apartment to buy some phones. And I was like, well, I really don't want you to do this, but, my husband really wanted to go. He trusted the guy. So when we get there, him and his really large friend decided that they wanted to take our money and they wanted to do it by force. And basically knocked my husband out, threw me to the floor, and gave my husband a severe concussion and took our cash. Now, the guys were caught, a couple weeks later. But, we were left with, for me, emotionally, I was terrified. And for my husband, he just thought, oh, I don't even remember anything. He was all fine with it.
Wow.
Even though he spent a night in the hospital from, having a severe concussion and being knocked out. So that was really hard. And what's funny is I remember talking to someone,
Mm-hmm.
and they said to me, because I was talking about, doing some additional phone transactions, and she said to me, but I thought you were getting out of the business. And I was like, well, why did you think that? And she goes, because of what happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, that thought had never even crossed my mind, because that was one incident. That was one person or two people who were desperate for cash. And I wasn't going, or we weren't going to let that stop us. I mean, we slowed down for a couple of weeks so we could recover,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't sufficient to stop us on our vision and what mattered to us, which was providing a service to people that, that's it. It's of service to people. So we just kept going.
Nice. And that, I guess, those are the things that I find interesting, is that how sometimes the people close to us will make an assumption, like you said. I thought you were getting out of the business. Clearly it's not working, or they things like that are said. And in those moments, we still have the responsibility of making the decision. And that's what you made at that moment, is you made a decision. In fact, it was a decision that had already been made, because you didn't feel the need to make a new decision, because you just said, that thought never even occurred to my mind.
Right.
And I love that. It was a decision that was already made.
Exactly. And the only difference is that, we did decide to do business a little differently. We decided to have people come to us.
I would imagine that would be the case. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
In an environment where you
just made the
control.
adjustment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We just made the adjustment and made it work. And we're not going to do that again. That's for sure.
Right. And but that's definitely an extreme case. Now, hopefully that doesn't, happen to many of you listening, but the principles are the same. You do the best you can with the knowledge and information and resources you have. And then when you experience a failure event, no matter how tragic, you make an adjustment. That's not a sign that says quit. You make an adjustment, unless you choose to let it mean that. So I'm curious to know what about this service means so much to you that you would persevere past that.
I can't say that I have some sort of emotional attachment to a cell phone. But to be honest with you, it really is being able to work with my husband, and not just my husband, but my family, which now includes a 3.5-month-old son. And that just was something that I knew that was important to me. And the fact that my husband is passionate about it really excites me, because there's so many different things that we've done that he just was not excited about. And so to have the people in your life be excited and passionate, to me, that's important. And just being a part of a team, and why not have it be the people that matter to you most? Agreed
in so many ways. So when it comes down to, I got to ask, because if your son is there, please tell me, is he on commission? I'm just curious.
No, but trust me, he will be well taken care of.
Yeah. I was just making sure. Want to make sure he gets his fair share for closing business. But the idea of working with one's family is definitely an interesting thing. So this has become something, what started out as an idea, working out of the house in various situations, has now become something more. Where does this, what's the end game? What's the big vision? How do you see this growing now?
Well, I had taken a really excellent training, the same training that you did, Jay, that taught me that you need to have a business or something that is providing you with large sums of cash so that you can then take that cash and invest it in passive income or cash flow. And so this is just my way of expressing that, because I do want to own real estate. And I just recently realized and was willing to accept that it isn't going to be the cheap little houses that you rent out tenants, which is an awesome business plan. But for me, it's owning vacation homes.
Nice.
You know, all around the country and even in other countries. And even if I just broke even, I really don't care. I just want to, you know, be able to experience that. So to be honest with you, that is why I do all of this. Plus, you know, being able to contribute to my community. I don't feel like the money that we make is necessarily ours, like we make it, but whatever we profit from, you know, you need to express that gratitude in some way. And the best way to do that is to share it with the people in your community and the people you care about or that you will care about. And that's for me, that's what's true for me. So, you know, we are heading in that direction to the point where, you know, we can have a self-sustaining community because, you know, we're a small business and we can provide that for them because of our skill set, and then allow others to contribute to their community and feel like, you know, they have something worthwhile. So I hope that made sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. In fact, I happen to know a guy who's working on a resort internationally that I think that qualifies as vacation housing, but maybe not. Anyway, the point I love is that what you're doing today is part of a bigger vision. And I think that's one of the things that helps all of us persevere through some of the greatest challenges that we might be facing in various ways is, you know, hey, I want this, but if we don't have something bigger in front of us, a grander vision, we may or may not persevere. And I think that's been a secret to your ability to persevere through, albeit difficult times, in other things that tend to happen, all those normal discouragements. So, as we end here, if I just got to ask if, you know, hey, if I got like 12 cell phones sitting around me or something, how do I get them over to you guys? How does that work? What do we do?
Well, we are on Facebook and we also have a website, but our preferred way to have people contact us is just to call or text us with what kind of phone you have. And we'll ask you some questions about it, about the condition, how many gigabytes, what model is it. And if we determine a price and you aren't local, you can ship us the phone. Or if you are local to Cincinnati, you know, you can meet us here at our shop in Springdale, Ohio.
Excellent. And what number should I call or text?
Let me give you my husband's number. That would be 513. It's area code 513-293-9556.
Okay.
And his name is Ben.
Excellent. And one more time, the Facebook page is what?
It is facebook.com/elite, ELITE, phone, PHONE, buyers, BUYERS.
Got it. Excellent. Thank you very much. And I appreciate you taking some time to invest here with the Cashflow Diary audience and just sharing with us what it takes to get started, stay started, and be focused and move forward. One last thing you'd like to share?
Really, I would just encourage people to pursue the thing that they're so terrified to pursue, whatever that is. Just do it. Be willing to fail.
Agreed.
Trust me, you'll have fun doing it. At some point, you'll have fun doing it.
At some point, indeed. That is if you don't quit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for you to move at the speed of instruction. Elite Phone Buyers is there. If you've got a phone, or 12 of them, sitting around and you know that, hey, they're not doing me any good right now, there's probably a way that could become the launching pad. You say, I need a little bit of cash to start my business. Well, those 12 phones are sitting on your desk. Go turn them in, get some money, make that happen. But most importantly, understand that whatever business that you are looking to make happen will start from your ideas, will continue as you continue to nurture those ideas and grow. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, you will hit at least one roadblock, sometimes more, but you still have the opportunity to make the decision to persevere. It's been fun talking to you today. Glad that you take the time to tune in. I look forward to talking to all of you soon. Until next time.
Thank you for investing your time with Jay Massey and the Cashflow Diary. When you have a moment, please visit iTunes and leave a positive comment about the show. And go now to our website, cashflowdiary.com, to take advantage of our free business building course, Cashflow Foundation. Gain the knowledge, understanding, and skill that will teach you how to never need a job again. Until next time.